حي على الفلاح.
What I'm trying to get at is very simple. At a younger age, your children crave your attention. And when they get older, you will crave their attention. But if you don't give them attention when they're tiny, when they come to you with their toys and you say, "Go in your room, I'm watching the news. The game is on. Could you take him, please? Come on, I had a long day at work. I don't want to deal with this right now. I have friends over. It's embarrassing. Go to sleep. Go get out of here." When you have this attitude towards your children, like they're an obstacle in your path, your job was at work. When you come home, you're on vacation. No, buddy, your job began when you came home. That's your job. What you did over there is just to fulfill your real job at home. Be a father. I'm talking to the men here. Be a father. Spend time with your children. They're not just there so you put them in school and you come home from work, you just want to go to sleep. You don't want to bother with anybody. You don't want to talk to them. And actually the easiest way to not talk to them is get them an iPod Touch and an iPhone, and get them a computer and a laptop in their own room with high-speed internet, so you don't even have to look at their face. They could just be in their room all day Facebooking, finding themselves a new set of parents online. Seriously. Be a father, be a mother. Don't replace your motherhood and your fatherhood with these things, because if you do, when they become independent, you know what happens to most parents? To most of you, your children, they only see you as a bunch of dollar signs walking around. And the only time they come and talk to you, "Dad, can I have $5? Actually, nobody asks for $5 anymore, right? It's 20s nowadays. And I know youth, they haven't seen money that small. They don't know fives. "Can I have $20? Can I go to the mall? Can you drop me off? Can I go over to my friend's house? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do the other?" When they want something, they come to you. Otherwise, you don't see them. And when they get to a certain age where they are old enough to make their own little bit of money, guess what? You're not going to see them at all. Because your cash register is no longer relevant. That's no longer relevant. If this is the relationship you are setting yourself up for, you're headed for destruction. We got to change this now. And the way to change it, and it's going to be hard for a lot of you to implement this, but we have to be friends with our children. We have to be their best friends. They should enjoy hanging out with us the most, the parents. The parents should not be a nuisance. The parents should be a joy to children. They should be a joy to them. And being good parents doesn't mean you get them toys and you get them nice things and you get them nice clothes. That's all there and that's fine and dandy. But the most important thing you give them right now is your time. Especially in this society where so many things are pulling away at their time. And the thing you are not able to give them. You can give them their own room. You can give them money. You can give them allowance. You can give them clothes. But you don't give them time. And when you don't give them time, they separate themselves mentally from you. They cut themselves off. They learn to become independent at an early age. And independent in this society really means alienated. It doesn't just mean independent. This is a serious matter on how to raise our children. We have to openly communicate with them. And that's the other thing. And part of this communication, only one more thing about parenting before I go to marriage. Just one more basic thing about parenting in this society. You know, there are certain things in Islam that are absolutely unacceptable. They're taboo, they're forbidden, they're haram, they're evil. But our children see them every day. They see this stuff every day. You can't even avoid it. They're looking out their window and they see a billboard. You know, they're just watching cartoons and an ad comes on. They see this stuff and most of you put them in school. And I don't even say Islamic schools are safe, because most kids in Islamic school are watching the same shows that the kids in public school are watching. And they're talking about it at the school too. Let's face reality for a moment. They are exposed to a lot of stuff. They really are. So the first time your daughter comes home and starts talking about some Disney boy that they're pushing in the media, or some girl that sings a lot of songs, and these are filthy role models, filthy. They're worse than animals. I'd rather my children watch like puppet animals than watch these people, because they behave worse than animals, wallahi. The Hannah Montanas of the world are the filth of the planet. They really are. And I've seen this, little Muslim girls with hijab on, going to Islamic school with a Hannah Montana book bag. What is wrong with you, parents? What happened to you? This is unacceptable. But when your children bring something like that up, they say something like that. They say something that is completely unacceptable to you. What happens to most parents? This is wrong. You don't talk about these things. Astaghfirullah. Say astaghfirullah. It's like, wow. Fine, I guess you don't want to talk about it. I'll just talk to my friends about it then. And you know what you did? You basically told them, if you have something that is of this nature, of a controversial nature, don't talk to me about it. But does that mean they'll not talk about it at all? They will talk to someone, and who's it going to be? Their friends. Most of the time they're non-Muslim friends, from whom they will get non-Muslim kinds of advice. You close the doors to communication. And me being from the background I am, my ancestry is Afghan. So I have a hot temper. So my daughter came home one day, preschool. My daughter was in preschool, but we have this, we're very possessive of our daughters, you know. So she comes home and she says, you know, Ahmed was so funny in class today. I was like, who's Ahmed? And my wife says to me, calm down, let me talk to her. You go away, you can't handle this. And she talks to me, it was nothing, he just fell off the chair, she was saying it was funny. It's very innocent. But if she hears, my dad really gets upset when he hears the name Ahmed or, you know, Sharif or whatever, you know, so I better not bring it up. I better not tell my parents what happened at school, then I've shut the doors of communication. I've made that mistake. And a lot of parents made that mistake and they're paying the price now. And they're listening to this and they're shedding tears because they're remembering the mistakes they made. They really are. But let's switch gears quickly, inshallah, and talk a little bit about marriage. The other fundamental, the core component of a healthy society. We cannot talk about da'wah. We cannot talk about establishing a harmonious Islamic society until we have a harmony inside the household. But our households are the places of chaos. How are we talking about higher ideals in da'wah when our homes are broken? Husband and wife are arguing every day. Sarcasm inside the house. Nasty commentary towards each other. You know, you're really not that pretty. Oh, you don't know Yusuf alayhi salam yourself. You don't see me cutting my hands. You know. Unnecessary sarcasm. Unnecessary hurtful commentary towards each other. Hurtful words to it. And you know, a lot of times you know exactly what's going to annoy your wife. And you do it anyway. And a lot of times the women, they know exactly what's going to get under his skin. And they'll say it anyway. Just to see what happens. Right? And who's watching all of this? While you're doing this to each other. These word games you're playing with each other. And this battle inside the house. Who's watching? Who's the real victim? The children. The children are learning this behavior. What kind of parents are they going to be when they grow up? There's no sense of forgiveness inside the marriage. You know, the Muslim man, a lot of you who work in, you know, in the public sphere, in corporate or whatever else, you'll go to work, your secretary, highly inappropriately dressed, is smiling at you. How's it going, Muhammad? How's your day? And like, it was pretty good, yeah, I had, you know. And you're having like 5-minute conversations with the secretary. You come home, the wife says, how was your day? I don't want to talk about it, I had a long day at work. This is what we're doing inside our homes. Ruining our own relationships with our spouses. When was the last time, ask the brothers. I'm not in a position to speak on behalf of the sisters because I'm not one. They should be getting advice from sisters. But let me I'll get on your case for a minute. On my own. When was the last time you got her a gift, man? When was the last, you took her out to the bazaar over there and she picked something like, no, put that back, put that back. When was the last time you got her something? Without her asking. When was the last time you hung out with her? Just took her out for some ice cream for no reason. They don't ask for much. They also just ask for your time. They only ask for your time. Wallahi, there are sisters who complain to me, and I couldn't believe my ears. They complain to me that they haven't seen their husbands forever because when they come home, they sit on the computer and just YouTube away the whole night. And they haven't seen, they're crying. It's like we're not even married anymore. Get off the computer, man. You have a wife, you have children to deal with. That's your priority. What are you sitting there listening to Islam? What Islam is that? You know, I was late to this lecture. I was supposed to be here at 10 o'clock, I got here at 10:25. You know why? I was stuck at you know how crazy the elevator is in the Marriott? I was there because I had to deliver burgers to my kids. How am I going to come here and give a lecture about relations with family and my kids are hungry? It's okay, I'll be late. I'll deliver the burgers first. We have to be courteous to our family. We have to be the best to them. The Messenger tells us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. The best of you are the best to their families. Who can actually claim, I'm my best self to my family? You guys are so much nicer to your friends, so much nicer to your coworkers, so much more courteous to the police officer who pulls you over. But you cannot extend that kind of courtesy to your mother? You can't talk to her for 10 extra minutes? As the moment she starts getting a little annoying and starts telling you all the things you don't do right, you say, I gotta go, I got another phone call? Can't talk right now? Listen to her. Sit there and listen to her. This is what you're supposed to do. That's your job. She didn't do that with you. I can't hear you're crying right now. Go in the other room, shut it, deal with it yourself. Your mother carried you. She took care of you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.